Today, we're going deep. 55 creative hobbies that are actually generating income for real people in 2026, including a bunch that I guarantee you haven't heard covered before. Let's get into it. Number 1, lino cut and relief printing. Carving designs into linoleum blocks and rolling ink over them to print. Lino cut is a printmaking technique that has had a full-blown cultural renaissance, driven largely by its visual appeal on Instagram and TikTok. The output, bold, high-contrast prints with that unmistakable hand-carved quality, is something no digital process perfectly replicates. A lino cut set costs around $30 to start. Handmade prints sell for $20 to $80 each on Etsy and at art markets. Artists in this space also sell greeting card collections, printed fabric pieces, and licensed designs to brands. The process video content is wildly popular on social media, which means this hobby builds both product sales and an audience simultaneously. Number 2, font and type design. If you love lettering, calligraphy, or just have an obsession with how words look, font design might be the most scalable creative hobby almost nobody talks about. You design a typeface. It can be anything from a hand-drawn script font to a clean display face, and you sell it through platforms like Creative Market, MyFonts, or your own website. The remarkable thing about fonts is that they are purely digital products. You make them once. Every sale after that is pure profit. A quality niche font on Creative Market might sell for $15 to $45. One successful font can generate passive income for years. Type designer Marcelo Fuentes is among hundreds of independent type designers earning consistently from font libraries they built as a hobby. Number 3, Foley artistry and sound design. This one will surprise you. Foley, the art of creating sound effects by physically performing them in a studio, has traditionally been an industry profession. But in 2026, the explosion of independent content creation has created a huge market for custom sound effects, ambient soundscapes, and production-ready audio assets. If you have a decent microphone and a creative mind for matching sounds to visuals, you can record and sell sound effect packs on platforms like Pond5, Audio Jungle, which is part of Envato Market, and Artlist. Sound effects sell from $1 to $15 per individual clip, but well-organized packs in specific niches, coffee shop ambience, forest sounds, vintage car foley, earn ongoing passive income. Independent video creators, game developers, and podcasters are constantly buying. Number 4, terrarium and bioactive vivarium building. London Terrariums built a brick-and-mortar business from this hobby. The concept, constructing miniature ecosystems inside glass containers, moss, ferns, rocks, miniature plants, either as closed bottle terrariums or open arrangements for specific plants. What makes this commercially interesting in 2026 is that terrariums are extremely giftable, extremely photogenic, and extremely popular with the indoor plant community. Terrariums sell for $30 to $150 plus, depending on size and complexity. But the real money for serious hobbyists is in teaching. In-person terrarium building workshops charge $40 to $80 per person and sell out regularly at plant shops, botanical gardens, and independent retailers. The kit angle is also strong. A DIY terrarium kit with all materials included sells for $25 to $60 and ships easily. Number 5, hand lettering and brush calligraphy for workshops, not products. I'm specifically framing this differently from how it's usually presented. Hand lettering as a hobby is commonly pitched as sell your finished pieces. The real money and the more sustainable model is workshops. Physical hand lettering and brush calligraphy workshops at studios, coffee shops, corporate events, and bachelorette parties charge $35 to $80 per seat and sell out consistently. A corporate team-building calligraphy workshop for 15 people at $60 a head is $900 for 2 hours of your time. For event planners specifically, calligraphy is a perennial booking because it photographs beautifully and guests feel like they've learned something. If you can teach this, you have a service business, not just a hobby. Number 6, product photography. Millions of small businesses sell products online, and most of them have terrible product photos. That's not an insult, it's an opportunity. If you love photography and have learned basic lighting and composition, product photography is one of the fastest paths from hobby to paid work. You don't need a professional studio. A $30 light box, your DSLR or mirrorless camera, and a white backdrop is enough to start. Etsy sellers, food brands, candle businesses, and boutique clothing stores regularly pay $100 to $400 for a professional product photo set. As you build a portfolio, rates go up quickly. This is a service-based income stream that can start generating money within weeks of deciding to do it. Number 7, illustrated map making. Hand-illustrated maps of cities, neighborhoods, national parks, fictional worlds, custom floor plan art are a strong Etsy niche with a devoted buyer base. This is a digital-first product. You draw the map in Procreate or Adobe Illustrator, sell it as a print-on-demand item, and fulfill through services like Printful or Printify. The emotional hook is the personalization, a map of the street where someone grew up, the city they met their partner in, the neighborhood their child was born in. These sell for $15 to $60 as digital downloads and $40 to $120 as physical prints. The evergreen appeal means a map you draw once can generate sales for years. Number 8, pressed botanical art and herbarium prints. Collecting, pressing, and arranging plant specimens, flowers, leaves, ferns, grasses, into framed botanical compositions is a hobby with its own quiet but active market. The Victorian herbarium aesthetic is very much alive and selling well in 2026. Pressed botanical frames sell for $30 to $200 depending on size and rarity of specimens. The premium niche within this is custom commissions. A customer sends dried flowers from their wedding bouquet, and you arrange and frame them into a lasting piece. Those commissions run from $80 to $250. The added business dimension is selling pressed specimens themselves. Rare botanical specimens, pressed and mounted on archival paper, are collected by educators, naturalists, and art buyers. Number 10, miniature painting, tabletop wargaming, and role-playing games. The tabletop gaming market, Dungeons & Dragons, Warhammer, and hundreds of other systems, involves physical miniature figures that dedicated players want painted to a high standard, but often lack the time or skill to do themselves. Enter commission miniature painting. A tabletop RPG character miniature painted to a standard quality level earns $10 to $30. A premium painted miniature for a serious Warhammer collector can earn $50 to $200 per piece, and complete army commissions, hundreds of figures, run into thousands of dollars. Platforms like Putty and Paint, a community for miniature painters, and simple Instagram portfolios are how painters find clients. This is a skilled service hobby with essentially no ceiling as your quality improves. Number 11, hand-painted ceramics, decoration, not throwing. I want to specifically distinguish painting on already fired ceramics using overglaze enamels and a kiln from throwing pottery. This is its own discipline, and it's particularly accessible because you don't need a wheel or complex ceramic knowledge. You source blank fired ceramics, paint detailed designs on the surface, and fire them to fuse the paint permanently. Hand-painted plates, mugs, and vases with original botanical, geometric, or character illustrations sell for $40 to $150 on Etsy and at art markets. The food-safe certification of your paints matters and should be part of your product listings. Buyers in this space look for it specifically. Furniture restoration, buying old pieces and reselling them, is well known, but the specific angle that is genuinely profitable and underexplored is specialty paint technique application. Lime washing, color washing, dipped furniture, Japaning, decoupage, wet distressing, milk paint layering. These are decorative paint techniques that transform a dull piece of furniture into something that looks like it came from a high-end boutique. Shopify notes that restoration projects earn an average of around $600 per piece, with antique or custom work often going higher. The content dimension is enormous. Before and after furniture transformation videos are among the highest performing home decor content formats on TikTok and Instagram, building audiences that become customers. Spoon carving, shaping wooden spoons, spatulas, and small kitchen tools from green wood, freshly cut wood, using hand tools, is one of the oldest woodworking traditions in existence and one of the most active hobby communities in 2026. The Polder family, mentioned by Shopify, built their handcrafted wooden spoon brand from selling door-to-door before launching on Etsy. A hand-carved wooden spoon sells for $30 to $80. A set of kitchen utensils sells from $80 to $200. What makes this hobby particularly compelling for content is the meditative, slow-paced quality of the process. It photographs and films beautifully, and the making things with your hands aesthetic resonates enormously with audiences exhausted by digital noise. Amazon search data from late 2025 into early 2026 shows strong and consistent demand in 3 specific art categories: abstract and landscape canvas art, floral and botanical hand-painted art, and textured, geometric, and minimalist art. The living room and bedroom wall art market is vast and active. An abstract canvas with texture using palette knives, mixed media, sand, and layered paint sells for $80 to $500 depending on size. What makes this particularly scalable is the print licensing angle. Once you've built a body of work, you can license your designs to Society 66, Redbubble, or art print services, generating royalties on every print sold without you touching a canvas. Drawing digitally in Procreate on an iPad or in Adobe Illustrator on a computer, and licensing those illustrations to brands, publishers, greeting card companies, and fabric manufacturers is a legitimate passive income model that many illustrators have built into 6-figure businesses. Spoonflower is a fabric design marketplace where designers earn royalties every time a yard of their fabric is printed. Society 66 and Redbubble pay royalties on prints, phone cases, tote bags, and dozens of other products. A well-designed collection of botanical, character, or surface pattern illustrations can earn ongoing royalties across multiple platforms indefinitely after the initial design work is done. Applying real or imitation gold leaf to surfaces, furniture, frames, decorative objects, ceramics, paper art is a centuries-old decorative technique that is genuinely having a moment. Gold leaf accent work on furniture pieces, picture frames, and home accessories photographs brilliantly and is widely coveted in interior design right now. You can learn the basics of oil gilding in a weekend. A gilded vintage mirror sells for significantly more than an ungilded one. Gilded accent ceramics sell for premium prices in boutique home stores and on Etsy. And gilding as a workshop, teaching participants to gild a small frame or decorative object, is a popular event booking for studios and gift experiences. Distinct from large mosaic panels, mosaic jewelry, rings, pendants, and earrings made by setting tiny pieces of stained glass, shell, stone, or ceramic tesserae into resin or adhesive on metal bezels, is a niche within the jewelry market with very little competition from mass manufacturers. Each piece is inherently one of a kind because of the tiny variable pieces used. Mosaic jewelry sells for $30 to $100 on Etsy and at art markets. The visual distinctiveness is the selling point. Buyers choose it specifically because they cannot get it anywhere else. Unlike hand-woven large-scale tapestries, which require significant time investment per piece, rigid heddle loom weaving produces table runners, wall hangings, scarves, and small textiles much faster, making it a more commercially viable hobby for volume production. A rigid heddle loom costs $100 to $250 and opens up a large product range. Hand-woven scarves sell for $40 to $120. Table runners sell for $50 to $150. Small woven wall hangings sell for $30 to $100. The fiber arts community on Instagram and Pinterest is highly engaged and actively buying from independent weavers who have a distinctive color palette and aesthetic. Pattern designing for crafters, knitters, crocheters, sewers, and quilters all buy patterns, instructions for making specific projects. If you've developed expertise in any of these crafts and you can write clear instructions with good photography, selling patterns is one of the most genuinely passive income streams in the creative space. A pattern sells for $5 to $18 on Ravelry for knitting and crochet, Etsy, or your own website. Once uploaded, it sells with no additional work. Top pattern designers on Ravelry have patterns with thousands of downloads. The mathematics here are compelling. A pattern priced at $7 that sells 500 times is $3,500 in pure digital revenue with no material costs. The market for handmade journals and luxury bookbinding is real, but the workshop angle is where the faster money is. Bookbinding workshops, where participants make their own journals over a 2 to 3 hour session, charge $45 to $90 per person. They're popular with corporate team building, creative studio programming, and private parties. If you can run a workshop for 8 to 10 participants at $60 each, that's $480 to $600 for an afternoon. The skill level required to teach basic Coptic or stab binding is achievable after a few months of practice. The supplies per participant run about $10 to $15, giving you very strong margins. A CNC router, a computer-controlled cutting machine for wood and other materials, sits at the intersection of traditional woodworking and digital design. You design something on your computer, the machine cuts it out with precision. Custom wooden signs, decorative wall panels, interlocking puzzle sets, architectural models, and personalized home decor are all products of this hobby. The entry cost is real. A quality desktop CNC router runs $300 to $800, but the output speed and consistency are what make it commercially viable. CNC routed wooden signs personalized with family names or addresses sell for $40 to $100. Custom decorative panels sell for $150 to $400. The digital design files can also be sold to other CNC owners on platforms like Design Bundles or Etsy. Painting murals on exterior walls, in restaurants, in offices, in children's rooms, on community spaces is a service-based creative hobby where rates are genuinely strong. A small interior mural in a home nursery earns $200 to $600. A restaurant or retail space mural runs $500 to $3,000 or more, depending on size and complexity. Exterior murals for businesses and community projects can be funded through local arts grants and business improvement districts. The portfolio building phase requires painting a few projects at reduced rates, but once you have documentation of 5 or 6 completed pieces, mural commissions come through local business networks and Instagram consistently. Creating and self-publishing illustrated children's books through Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing for print and digital, or through Ingram Spark for broader retail distribution, has become a genuinely accessible income stream for illustrators. KDP allows authors to retain up to 60% royalties on physical books and 70% on digital. A children's picture book in a specific niche, a particular animal, a learning concept, a cultural tradition that finds its audience can generate consistent monthly income indefinitely. The barrier is lower than most people think. You need a compelling story, 24 to 32 illustrated pages, and an understanding of basic book formatting. The skill in illustrating is the hardest part. The publishing mechanics are straightforward. Painting directly on garments, jackets, denim, canvas sneakers, tote bags, using textile paint or fabric-appropriate acrylic medium produces wearable, one-of-a-kind pieces that cannot be replicated by print-on-demand technology. Painted denim jackets with custom illustrations sell for $80 to $250. Painted canvas sneakers sell for $60 to $200. Painted silk bomber jackets by skilled artists sell for $300 to $600. The key differentiator is commissioning, taking orders for specific designs, motifs, or personalized elements that make each piece feel made for the wearer. Instagram is the primary sales channel for this hobby, where the visual impact of the work speaks immediately and naturally. This is different from everyday soap making, and I want to make that distinction clearly. Sculptural soap, where soap is carved, shaped, or molded into realistic fruit, flowers, geodes, and architectural forms, is a visual art form with its own dedicated buyer community. These soaps are not primarily purchased to be used, they're purchased as decorative objects, gifts, and collectibles. Sculptural soap arrangements and sets sell for $30 to $100. Custom sculpted soap gifts for weddings, baby showers, and corporate gifting run higher. The artistry in the sculpting is what commands the price, and the tutorial content around the process is widely consumed on social media. If you love the aesthetic of scrapbooking, vintage papers, botanical elements, stamps, frames, ribbon graphics, but want to work digitally, selling digital scrapbook kits on Etsy and Creative Market is a strong passive income model. A digital kit, a collection of coordinated papers, elements, and overlays, sells for $4 to $12. Prolific digital designers with large libraries earn $500 to $5,000 plus monthly from accumulated catalog sales. The design work happens in Photoshop or Procreate. The products are digital downloads that deliver automatically. For designers who love creating the aesthetic elements of paper crafting but want the passive income of digital products, this is an ideal overlap. Creating short stop-motion animation videos using clay, paper cutouts, everyday objects, or miniature sets is a highly shareable content format that performs exceptionally well on Instagram Reels and TikTok. Brands commission stop-motion content creators for product launches and social media campaigns, paying $200 to $2,000 per short piece, depending on complexity and the creator's following. Stop-motion as a hobby builds a content portfolio that becomes a commercial reel. Starting equipment is genuinely minimal: a smartphone with a good camera, a stable mount, and consistent lighting. The skill is in the patience and the eye for composition and timing. Using plant materials, onion skins, madder root, weld, indigo, iron mordants, black walnut to dye fabric, yarn, and fiber is a growing niche that sits at the intersection of sustainability, craft, and science. The output has a specific, unmistakable quality: complex, muted, layered color that synthetic dyes cannot replicate. Naturally dyed skeins of yarn sell to the indie dyer and fiber arts market for $30 to $80 each. Naturally dyed fabric and finished textile pieces command premium prices in the sustainable fashion and slow living communities. The educational content around natural dyeing, foraging dye plants, mordant chemistry, seasonal dyeing is highly engaged on YouTube, Instagram, and Substack. Urban sketching and location drawing cities, neighborhoods, cafes, markets, and everyday life scenes on location in real time, is a hobby with a vibrant global community. The income paths are multiple: selling original sketches, $30 to $200, selling prints and cards of sketches, $5 to $25, running urban sketching workshops and walking tours, $25 to $60 per participant, and building a social following that converts to Patreon subscriptions or print sales. The location-specific appeal means your work has intrinsic value to people who love the places you draw. A detailed sketch of a neighborhood coffee shop or a historic market is deeply meaningful to people who know that place. Home baking is specifically mentioned in this context because of three legitimate money-making paths that don't get enough attention. First, in many U.S. states, cottage food laws allow home bakers to sell baked goods directly to consumers at farmers markets, online, and at pop-up events. Check your specific state's laws, as they vary significantly. Second, sourdough starter sales. Established sourdough starters with documented lineage and flavor profiles sell on Etsy for $5 to $20 per jar and ship well. Third, teaching. Sourdough bread baking workshops, in-person, small groups, charge $40 to $80 per participant and are consistently oversubscribed in urban areas where artisanal bread culture is strong. Carving original designs into rubber or soft linoleum block to create stamps for paper crafting, fabric printing, and ceramic decoration is a niche creative hobby with a ready commercial market. Custom stamps for small businesses, logos, monograms, pattern stamps for packaging sell for $15 to $60 each. Sets of theme stamps for paper crafters sell as collections. The overlap with the journaling and planner communities is particularly strong. Those communities actively seek unique handmade stamps for decorating their pages. Carving tools cost under $30 to get started, and the stamp making process content is popular and shareable on social media. If you have a clear, expressive, distinctive voice, Voiceover is a genuinely accessible creative income stream in 2026. Audiobook narration through ACX Amazon's audiobook production exchange, pays either per finished hour, $150 to $400 per hour of finished audio, or through royalty share arrangements where you earn ongoing income as the audiobook sells. Commercial voiceover for ads, explainer videos, and corporate content is commissioned through platforms like Voices.com and Voice123 or through direct outreach. AI voice generation has improved, but human voices with emotional range, accents, and character still command consistent premium rates, particularly for long-form narration. Making props and costumes for theater companies, film productions, photographers, content creators, cosplay competitions, and themed events is a service-based creative hobby with rates that might surprise you. A custom theatrical prop built to specification earns $50 to $300. A high-quality cosplay costume for a serious convention attendee earns $150 to $800. Photographers doing themed shoots and content creators needing specific visual elements for their brand are active buyers of well-made props. The portfolio building approach, making a few impressive pieces for your own documentation, is how prop makers develop a client base through Instagram and direct outreach to local creative businesses. Producing music from home using software like Ableton Live, Logic, or FL Studio, and licensing those tracks to content creators, brands, and filmmakers is one of the most scalable creative income paths available in 2026. Platforms like BeatStars, Airbit, and Splice let producers sell or lease beat licenses to artists and producers worldwide. A non-exclusive lease for a beat earns $20 to $100, and exclusive lease earns $200 to $2,000. Beyond beat selling, platforms like MusicBed, Artlist, and Epidemic Sound license background music from independent producers for use in YouTube videos and commercial content. If you're making interesting original music, the licensing market for it is active and accessible. Number 34, vintage clothing curation and reselling. This is not thrift flipping in the generic sense. The profitable version is specific, developing deep expertise in a particular era or style, 1970s workwear, 1990s Japanese streetwear, mid-century women's knitwear, and curating an online shop around that specific aesthetic and knowledge. Buyers in the vintage market are not looking for a random assortment of used clothes. They're looking for someone with taste and knowledge who has done the finding for them. A well-sourced vintage Levi's Type 3 denim jacket bought at a thrift store for $15 sells for $120 to $300 on Depop, Poshmark, or eBay if photographed and described correctly. The expertise and aesthetic curation is the product, not just the clothing. Number 35, aerial and drone photography. Aerial and videography using an FAA Part 107 certified drone gives access to images and footage that ground-level cameras simply cannot capture. Real estate agents pay $150 to $500 for drone photography packages for property listings. Construction companies pay for aerial progress documentation. Event coverage, agricultural surveys, and landscape photography for editorial and stock use are additional revenue streams. The FAA Part 107 certification for commercial drone operation in the U.S. is a knowledge-based test that can be passed with a few weeks of study. It's a requirement for any commercial drone work, not optional. The drone hardware cost, the DJI Mavic 4 Pro being the current benchmark among serious hobbyists, represents the primary startup investment. Number 36, escape room and puzzle design. Designing physical puzzle boxes, escape room kits, and interactive puzzle experiences is a genuinely novel creative hobby with a growing commercial market. Physical puzzle boxes, handcrafted wooden boxes with hidden mechanisms, secret compartments, and sequential puzzles, sell for $40 to $200 depending on complexity. Escape room kit designers sell boxed game experiences for home use at $25 to $60 per game. If you have a physical space, running micro escape room experiences, even for groups of 4 to 6 people at $15 to $25 per person, is a legitimate home-based entertainment business in many jurisdictions, subject to local zoning. Number 37, food styling and tabletop photography. Food styling, the art of making food look extraordinarily beautiful for photography, is a professional skill that started as a hobby for many of the people who now do it commercially. Food stylists work with photographers, restaurants, recipe developers, food brands, and cookbook authors. A day rate for a professional food stylist runs $500 to $1,500. Building toward that starts with creating a portfolio by styling your own cooking, working with local food businesses on their social media content at reduced rates, and documenting everything meticulously. The overlap with food photography means these two skills are usually developed together and pitched as a combined service. Number 38, letterpress printing. Letterpress, printing using actual movable type or polymer printing plates pressed into thick cotton or textured paper, produces tactile, visually distinctive printed pieces that the digital printing world cannot replicate. Letterpress wedding stationery is one of the most in-demand premium printing options for couples who want something genuinely special. A set of letterpress wedding invitations earns $300 to $1,200 plus. A letterpress press runs $500 to $5,000 depending on whether you buy a tabletop Adonis style or a larger floor standing model. Once you have the equipment, the per-print material costs are low and the premium pricing is well supported by the visible craftsmanship. Number 49, gemstone cutting and lapidary. Cutting, shaping, and polishing rough gemstones, called lapidary, is a hobby that combines geology, craft, and jewelry making. Rough gemstones are relatively affordable to source. A finished, faceted, or cabochon-cut stone sells for significantly more cut and polished. A well-cut labradorite cabochon that costs $3 in rough form can sell for $25 to $80 cut and polished. The equipment, a trim saw, grinder, and polishing wheel, costs $300 to $800 for a functional startup setup. Finished stones sell to jewelry makers on Etsy and at gem shows. The lapidary community is deeply engaged and active, with clubs in most U.S. cities offering access to shared equipment for those who want to try before investing. Number 40, nail art as a service and as content. I'm including this specifically because of the commercial model most people overlook. Nail art tutorials on YouTube and TikTok have produced some of the most successful beauty content channels in existence. But beyond content, nail technicians who specialize in intricate design-forward nail art, 3D embellishments, hand-painted miniature scenes, press-on nail sets for events, command premium rates compared to standard nail services. Press-on nail sets, custom, hand-designed, and beautifully packaged, sell on Etsy for $18 to $60 per set. This is a product that ships easily, photographs beautifully, and has an enormous ready audience on social media. Number 41, fermentation and artisan food products. Fermentation, kimchi, miso, hot sauces, naturally fermented pickles, kombucha, kefir, is a creative food hobby with genuine commercial potential under cottage food laws, which vary by state and country, so absolutely check yours. Artisanal hot sauces have become a specific cultural phenomenon, with small batch independent sauce makers selling through farmers markets, local grocery partnerships, and online. A bottle of small batch artisanal hot sauce sells for $8 to $18 per bottle. The storytelling around fermentation, the science, the culture, the flavor development also makes exceptional content for YouTube, Substack newsletters, and paid community memberships. Custom sneaker customization. Painting on sneakers using specialized leather paints and sealers to create custom designs is a hobby with a devoted collector market. Custom Air Force Ones, Dunks, and New Balances with hand-painted artwork sell for $150 to $800, depending on the artist's reputation. The entry barrier is genuinely low, a few Angelus leather paints, brushes, and a pair of clean white sneakers, but the skill ceiling is high, and the more technically accomplished your work, the higher the prices buyers will support. Documenting your process on social media is essentially mandatory in this community and is how most custom sneaker artists build their client base. Scent blending and natural perfumery. Natural perfumery, blending essential oils, absolutes, and aromatic materials to create original fragrance compositions, is a creative hobby distinct from candle making that occupies its own niche market. Natural perfumes sell for $40 to $120 per 10 milliliter bottle on Etsy and through independent shops. The differentiation in this market is in the storytelling and the materials. A perfume made from sustainably sourced botanicals with an evocative name and origin story commands premium prices from buyers who specifically seek natural alternatives to synthetic commercial fragrances. Perfumery also scales into workshop teaching. Introductory blending workshops run from $60 to $120 per participant. Historical reproduction craft, living history making. Making accurate reproductions of historical objects, medieval jewelry using period-correct metalworking techniques, Viking-age textile work, 18th century needlework samplers, antique bookbinding styles serves a passionate and consistent buyer community. History museums, reenactment societies, film and theater productions, and individual collectors purchase accurate historical reproductions at premium prices. A correctly reproduced medieval silver cloak brooch sells for $80 to $200. Period-accurate woven textiles sell to reenactors and costume departments. The combination of craft skill and historical research that this hobby requires produces an outcome that genuinely cannot be easily sourced elsewhere. Using a small lathe to turn wooden or resin pin blanks into custom writing instruments is one of those hobbies that sounds very niche and turns out to have a broader market than expected. A hand-turned wooden pen in a distinctive wood, cocobolo, burl maple, stabilized wood with quality hardware sells for $25 to $80. Corporate gift pin sets sell for $200 to $400. Pin turners also sell at craft shows and through woodworking clubs where handmade writing instruments have a genuine collector following. The lathe investment is real. A quality mini lathe costs $300 to $600, but the per-piece production time is low once skills are developed. Beekeeping and artisan honey sales. Beekeeping as a hobby generates multiple income streams: raw honey sales, beeswax products, lip balms, polishes, candles made from 100% beeswax, bee pollen, and propolis products. Artisan raw honey sells for $10 to $20 per 8-ounce jar, significantly more than commercial honey because of the terroir, the local flowers, and the story behind it. Beekeeping is regulated and requires permits in many jurisdictions, so research your local rules before starting. The educational content angle, teaching people about bees, honey, and pollinators, builds engaged audiences on YouTube and social media that support sales through the trust they generate. Aerial silks and circus arts teaching. If you practice aerial silks, aerial hoop or lyra, or other circus arts and reached a teaching-capable level, this is a service with remarkably strong monetization. Aerial arts classes run for $20 to $40 per drop-in session. Workshops and intensives run from $60 to $150 per participant for half-day or full-day formats. Private lessons run from $50 to $100 per hour. The physical requirement of a rigging point makes this a studio-dependent skill, but many practitioners rent studio time or co-work from established aerial studios. The content dimension, aerial performance documentation, is highly shareable on social media. Pyrography or wood-burning art. Burning intricate designs into wood, leather, or gourd using a heated tip, pyrography, produces artwork with a texture and warmth that no print can replicate. Pyrography portraits, wildlife scenes, mandala patterns, and custom name art sell on Etsy for $30 to $200 plus, depending on size and complexity. Personalized pyrography pieces, a family portrait burned into a wooden panel, a wedding date and monogram on a serving board, are particularly strong gift items. Entry cost is very low. A quality pyrography unit with interchangeable tips runs from $30 to $80. The slow, meditative quality of the process also makes for excellent process video content. Kombucha and craft beverage brewing. Beyond fermentation generally, kombucha specifically has a strong commercial market due to its wellness positioning. Bottled kombucha sells at farmers markets for $5 to $8 per 16-ounce bottle under cottage food laws in many jurisdictions. Check your state. More importantly, kombucha continuous brewing systems, branded starter culture kits, and in-person brewing workshops are all legitimate products and services you can offer. A kombucha brewing workshop for 10 participants at $50 each is $500 for an afternoon with minimal ingredient costs. The crossover with the wellness audience, yoga studios, health food shops, and wellness events provides natural distribution channels. Architectural and realistic model making. Building highly detailed scale models of buildings, vehicles, historical sites, fantasy structures is a hobby that has 3 commercial paths. First, commission work for architects, real estate developers, and urban planners who need physical presentation models. Second, selling detailed scale model kits you've designed yourself through Etsy or your own shop. Third, content creation. The modeling process itself, particularly for complex historical or architectural subjects, draws significant and engaged audiences on YouTube, where the patience and skill on display generates trust that converts to Patreon support. Hand-stitched leather goods, saddle stitch method. Using the traditional saddle stitching technique where 2 needles work simultaneously from opposite sides of the leather to create a stitch stronger than any machine, to produce wallets, card holders, belts, key fobs, and bags produces goods with a provenance story and durability that luxury buyers specifically seek. A hand-stitched vegetable-tanned leather wallet sells for $80 to $200. A hand-stitched briefcase sells from $350 to $700. The leather craft community is active and skilled with abundant tutorial resources for learning the technique. Documenting the making process on Instagram and selling through a branded Etsy shop or personal website are the standard routes to market. Glassware etching, acid and sandblasting. Using glass etching cream or sandblasting to create permanent frosted designs on glass, wine glasses, pint glasses, mirrors, vases, and windows is a fast hobby to learn and a consistent seller for personalized gifts. A set of 4 etched wine glasses with custom monograms sells for $40 to $80. Custom mirrors with etched patterns sell for $60 to $200. Glass etching cream is the accessible entry point. No special equipment beyond the cream, vinyl stencils, and protective gear. Sandblasting machines allow deeper, more complex etching effects, but require more investment. The personalization angle, wedding gifts, housewarmings, corporate gifts, is what drives the purchase at scale. Zine making and self-publishing. A zine, a small circulation, self-published magazine or booklet, was born in punk and alternative culture and has had a major revival as a format for independent creative expression. Zine fairs in cities worldwide draw dedicated buyers who specifically seek independent voices and handmade publications. A physical zine typically sells for $5 to $15. Themed zines with strong visual identities, botanical illustration zines, urban sketching zines, and food culture zines develop loyal subscriber communities. The digital zine version, sold as a PDF through Gumroad or Etsy, extends the reach to a global audience with 0 production or shipping costs. Many zine makers also teach zine making workshops as an accessible craft format. Drone light painting and long exposure photography. Long exposure photography, using a DSLR or mirrorless camera on a tripod with a shutter open for several seconds to minutes, combined with moving light sources, light sticks, sparklers, LEDs, spinning steel wool, creates imagery that can only be achieved through this specific technique. It cannot be AI generated with the same authenticity because the real-world physics of light movement is embedded in the image. Long exposure photography prints sell as fine art. The images are also highly licensable for editorial and commercial use on stock platforms. The process documentation on social media is extremely shareable. The final image and the behind-the-scenes process video of making it are both compelling content. Creating and selling craft patterns and tutorials. teachable knowledge. I'm saving this one for last because it's the most scalable thing on this entire list. Whatever your primary creative hobby is, any of the 54 above, your knowledge of that hobby has commercial value. Craft patterns, tutorial PDFs, online video courses, paid newsletters, membership communities, and live workshop recordings are all formats through which your accumulated creative knowledge becomes a product that people will pay for.